Hi, I'm Jim Prince from Fixed Risk Known Cost, and here we're looking at the EURUSD, the Euro-USD forex pair. I talked about this last week, and this is the daily chart. So let's move off the daily chart. I actually want to move down to a 1 hour chart, and I think you'll see things a little bit clearer here, what I want to chat about here. And that is really right here where I had this triangle pattern highlighted last week. And I recorded the video on Sunday, and I talked about looking for the market to pull back. I was not a fan of buying breakouts of triangle patterns. The market did indeed pull back. In fact, it broke through my lower trend line. And look at this, when I pulled the data forward, look at that beautiful hook in my cycle study right there. And look at that bounce off of the 200 SMA off the 1 hour chart. That's a simple moving average, 200 SMA. And then the market took off. I talked about this being a possible area that the market might fill in. All right, but that we had all this resistance up here. So really just looking for a move into here up to this yellow dashed horizontal line. The market moved beyond that, of course. And then, well, it did this. Let's just kind of fast forward here. And you can see what happened right here. Now we are up to speed, up to live data here on Sunday night, July 1st. So really what we have here is a big bottoming pattern. I'm going to go back to the daily chart and let's bring that up. And you can see here, we really have a triple bottom that has formed, and we have this low here, actually double lows there. We have this area here, and of course the one from last week right there. The market bounced off. Look at what's happened with my momentum indicator. Took out this high. That is a new potential swing high. Our oscillator is showing energy to the upside, so I'm seeing complete energy to the upside, even though we are up here at resistance. So this is the area here that I'm anticipating that we will fill in. I'll mark it up here for you. That's right here, this green ellipse. It's very possible the market decides to fill that in, and that means a pretty good sprint. If you look at that, that's roughly from the current price level of 1.1681, and then we're talking to a move up here about 1.1771. So a really good move up to that level if that indeed does get filled in this week. Now here's the caveat, if you will. Of course, this is the week of 4th of July here in the States, a broken week, if you will, because Wednesday is the 4th. And generally around big holidays, I do not trade at all. And this is no different this year. And simply because the money moves out of the markets, everyone's on vacation, right? So if this move happens, I will not be participating in it. But that is what I'd look for to be normally filled in on a regular trading week, if you will, in that general area there. So let's look at the weekly chart real quick, and you can see how that ranks here. Look at this. Energy is to the upside. Even though our momentum has bottomed out here, has made a low and is red, it is still moving higher here. So that leads to a potential fill-in of that ellipse. How about the monthly chart? Here, different story, isn't it? But it's so far removed from the daily chart. We have positive momentum, but we've been losing that positive momentum. Also, our oscillator is moving down and has not put in a cycle low yet. So let's jump from the monthly all the way down to the 4 hour chart, and you can really kind of see this triple bottom here. These lows, the lows over here and over here from last week, and this is where the market's currently trading. There is that key resistance level that I chatted about last week that could potentially be filled in. But on a 4 hour basis here, notice that we are kind of hooking over here on our oscillator. The oscillator can remain in this upper range. It is a bounded indicator, meaning the ceiling is 100, the bottom is 0, so it can't go beyond those levels. So it can stay up in this range in a strongly trending market. I don't believe we're strongly trending yet because we haven't taken out this swing high yet, basis this 4 hour chart. So we may see the market cycle back down. This is the beauty of looking at multiple time frames. In other words, the market may move down here and test this support level before bouncing and moving higher. Again, that's a 4 hour chart, 240 minutes at the bottom of the screen there. So if that were to happen, that move back down to support, the oscillator would have to roll back down as well. And I consider a cycle high being put in once this moves below the 50 level, the midpoint. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. All right, this is our 1 hour chart, and you can see again we've lost some momentum off the highs. In fact, we had a divergent move. If you look at from high to higher high, right, and look what happened on a momentum high to lower high. divergent move. Our oscillator did not correspond with that move, but it has curled over and now is slightly hooking back up. Now, of course, with this being Sunday night, that doesn't give a lot of information, but the fact that this occurred last week, you can see we need to be aware of it. All right, so one other thing I want to do is I want to mark off a support level, and I'll show you where that is. There, I just drew a trend line on that level, but if I move the camera to the left, you can see right over here. This is where I actually laid that on right there, and that kind of cuts across these real bodies and wicks of these various candles. So that'll be an important area, and really if you look a little deeper at this, let me go ahead and drop that right here on that low. So that's kind of a zone, these upper two lines, and I just changed the color of this lower line so you can distinguish the difference between them. But that is the most important zone here moving forward here off this 1 hour chart as the market pulls back. Now remember, we were just looking at a support level on the 4 hour chart. And here we are back at the 4 hour chart, and you can see where that falls into place. Remember, I talked about the cycle high, seeing the market cycle back. So that is a zone we need to be aware of, which is just above our support zone, that green level there. I'm really big into zones. In other words, zones that are established via support and resistance, or highs or lows, or swing highs or swing lows, and also moving averages. All right, so let's go back to the 1 hour chart. So basis the 1 hour chart and the 4 hour chart, I'm looking for some sort of retracement down into this area. That would be ideal. If that does not happen, I would not participate in any move to the upside. Again, I will not be participating in this. I'm actually taking the week off, as I typically do around these big holidays. I don't expect a lot this week because of the broken week, if you will, but if something does happen here in this specific pair, the Euro USD, I would look for a retracement and then a bounce and a move higher within this pair. Of course, if the market just sprints to the upside from here, I would just stand aside and let it do its thing this week. All right, that's going to do it for this week. Be safe. Have a great holiday weekend. I'm Jim Prince. God bless. We'll see you again next time.